You want bigger biceps, right? Not just the kind that look good in the mirror for 5 seconds, but real strong, round head-turning arms. Well, let's talk about the 5 proven biceps exercises that actually build size. Not the flashy stuff, not the influencer garbage, but the moves backed by real science, real stimulus, and real progress. First things first, the biceps are small muscles compared to the rest of your body, but they respond extremely well to smart, consistent, high-quality training. That means we don't just throw random curls together. We pick movements that maximize tension, control, and the full range of motion. Let's start with the foundation, the barbell curl. You've seen it, maybe you've done it, but are you doing it right? When you perform a barbell curl with strict form, you're loading both heads of the biceps evenly, generating a ton of mechanical tension, exactly what drives hypertrophy. Keep the elbows slightly in front of your torso, don't swing, and control the negative. Every rep should feel like a challenge, not a momentum contest. Next up, the incline dumbbell curl. Now, this one's sneaky because it stretches the biceps under load. That long head gets absolutely torched when your arms are behind your torso. Sit back, let the dumbbells hang, and curl up with intent. You'll feel that deep stretch at the bottom, and that's where a lot of your growth potential hides. Third, the preacher curl, a staple for a reason. This one removes momentum completely. You're forced to use pure bicep strength. Keep your chest tight to the pad, lower the bar slowly, and squeeze at the top. This isolates the muscle beautifully, and if you're chasing that round full bicep peak, this movement is pure gold. Fourth, the hammer curl. People forget this one hits more than just your biceps. It also builds the brachiatus, that thick muscle underneath that gives your arms that wide 3D look. Use controlled reps. Don't twist and think about driving your knuckles toward your shoulders. And finally, the cable curl. Why? Because constant tension. Free weights give you resistance that changes through the motion, but cables, they load the muscle evenly from start to finish. You can use a straight bar, rope, or single handle. It doesn't matter. Focus on feeling that continuous pull through every inch of the curl. Here's the truth. None of these exercises are magic on their own. What matters is how you execute them. Full range of motion, controlled negatives, progressive overload, and recovery. That's the formula. You can do all the curls you want, but if you're not consistent and intentional, your biceps won't grow the way they could. So next time you hit arms, don't just go through the motions. Choose these 5 exercises, train them with precision, and watch your sleeves get tighter week after week. Big arms aren't built by luck. They're built by method. When it comes to building huge biceps, people love to talk about exercises, angles, and secret tips. But the truth is, most people don't understand what really makes these movements effective. You can do the right exercises, but if you're not performing them with the right intent, precision, and structure, you're leaving a ton of growth potential on the table. The 5 exercises we're talking about, barbell curls, incline dumbbell curls, preacher curls, hammer curls, and cable curls, are not random choices. Each one has a distinct role in stimulating your biceps through different angles, ranges of motion, and levels of tension. Together, they create a complete, balanced approach to hypertrophy. Let's start with the barbell curl. It's the classic. Everyone does it, but not everyone does it right. The barbell curl isn't about ego. It's not about how much you can swing. It's about applying consistent, direct tension through the full range of motion. When you grab that bar, keep your elbows slightly in front of your torso. That little adjustment shifts the line of pull so your biceps stay engaged throughout the lift. If you let your elbows drift back, your front delts start doing the work, and suddenly your biceps are just along for the ride. Control the eccentric, meaning lower the bar slowly. That's where you're causing the most muscle damage and setting up the growth. The barbell curl, when done properly, loads both heads of the biceps evenly and gives you that dense total arm look that comes from real tension, not momentum. Now, let's talk about the incline dumbbell curl. This is one of the most underrated exercises for biceps growth. Why? Because it stretches the muscle under load, which is one of the most powerful hypertrophy triggers we have. When you sit back on an incline bench and let your arms hang behind you, you're putting the long head of the biceps on a deep stretch. That position increases muscle fiber recruitment, meaning more total tension and more stimulus. But you've got to be patient. Don't rush through it. Let the dumbbell pull you into that stretch, then curl with full intent, control the motion, and squeeze at the top. The incline dumbbell curl teaches you to stay disciplined under load. It's not flashy, but it's brutally effective. Then there's the preacher curl. This one's all about isolation and stability. When your upper arms are pinned to the pad, there's nowhere to hide. No swinging, no cheating, no momentum, just you and your biceps doing the work. The preacher curl is fantastic for the short head of the biceps, helping you build that thick, round shape in the front of your arm. The key here is tempo. Lower the bar slowly until you feel that deep stretch at the bottom. Then drive up and squeeze hard at the top. Don't rush the contraction. Own it. That's how you teach your muscles to respond and grow. People often skip preacher curls because they can't use heavy weights on them. But that's the point. It's not about load. It's about control and precision. Next, the hammer curl. Now, this one's interesting because it doesn't just target the biceps. It also smokes the brachialis and the brachialis, the muscles that sit underneath and alongside your biceps. Why does that matter? Because when those muscles grow, they literally push your biceps up higher, making your arms look thicker and more three-dimensional. When performing hammer curls, keep your wrist neutral. Think about driving your knuckles toward your shoulders and don't twist at the top. You want constant, clean tension through the entire rep. The hammer curl also carries over to strengthen other pulling movements, making it a functional addition to your training. Finally, we have the cable curl. People underestimate cables because they're not free weights, but that's a mistake. Cables give you something dumbbells and barbells can't. Constant tension. With free weights, the resistance changes as you move through the range of motion. There's a point where the muscle isn't loaded much at all, but with cables, that tension stays consistent from start to finish. It's a perfect tool for finishing a workout, for getting those high-quality contractions and filling the muscle with blood. You can use a straight bar for stability, or rope for freedom of motion, or a single handle for focus. What matters is keeping tension and squeezing every rep like it counts. When you put all of these exercises together, you're hitting the biceps from every possible angle. You're challenging both heads, applying mechanical tension, creating stretch under load, and maximizing metabolic stress. All the ingredients of muscle growth. The reason this combination works so well is that it's not built on randomness. Each exercise complements the others. Barbell curls give you heavy loading and total arm tension. Incline dumbbell curls stretch the long head. Preacher curls isolate the short head. Hammer curls thicken the arm through brachialis work. Cable curls finish it off with constant tension and high-quality contractions. That's the kind of intelligent programming that builds serious size, but execution is everything. You can take these exercises and do them with bad form, rushing the reps, swinging the weight, and you'll get nowhere. Or you can slow down, control the movement, feel the stretch, and squeeze with intent, and your biceps will grow like never before. Muscles don't care about what you intend to lift. They care about what you actually do with the load. Quality reps, not just heavy reps, are what lead to hypertrophy. And here's a truth that people don't like hearing. Building bigger arms takes patience. You can't shock your biceps into growing overnight. You need progressive overload, adding a little more weight, a few more reps, or slightly better control every session. That's what signals your muscles to adapt. Pair that with enough recovery, proper nutrition, and consistency, and these 5 exercises will transform your arms. So if you want huge biceps, stop chasing secrets and shortcuts. Master these fundamental movements. Perform them with discipline, control, and progressive intent. Every curl you do should feel like you're telling your body, grow. That's the mindset that separates those who wish for results from those who build them. When it comes to growing your arms, people love to chase complexity. They look for the newest workout split, the latest scientific hack, or the influencer who claims he found a secret angle no one's ever used before. But here's the reality. Muscle growth doesn't come from random variety. It comes from consistent technique, full range of motion, progressive overload, and recovery. You can't outsmart physiology. The body responds to repeated, high-quality stress, followed by proper recovery. That's how you build muscle. That's how you build real bicep. Let's start with the first piece, consistency. The best program in the world won't do anything if you can't stick to it. You don't need to change your exercises every week. You don't need a new shock routine every time you train. What you need is repetition. Your muscles adapt when you expose them to the same movement patterns over and over again, each time with just a little more load or effort. When you repeat quality work, you get better at recruiting muscle fibers, controlling the range, and improving your mind-muscle connection. That's why someone who's been doing proper curls for months can make light weights look heavy. They've learned how to make the muscle do the work instead of relying on momentum. Technique comes next, and it's everything. Poor technique is the #1 reason most lifters don't grow. Swinging the weight, jerking the bar up, cutting the range of motion short. These things rob your muscles of tension. And tension is what drives hypertrophy. When you lift, your goal isn't just to move the weight from point A to point B. Your goal is to keep the target muscle under as much controlled tension as possible for the duration of each set. That means full range of motion, lowering all the way down until the biceps are stretched, and curling all the way up until they're fully contracted. Every inch you skip is an inch of growth you give away. Slow it down. Control it. Own every rep. The people with the biggest arms are usually the ones who lift with purpose, not ego. Progressive overload is where the magic happens. Your muscles won't grow if you keep doing the same thing forever. They adapt to the stress you place on them. So once you've nailed your technique, you've got to gradually increase the challenge. That doesn't always mean adding a ton of weight every week. It can mean adding one more rep. It can mean slowing down the eccentric. It can mean tightening up your form so the muscle works harder with the same load. Growth happens when you make small, consistent improvements over time. You're not chasing one big jump. You're chasing hundreds of tiny ones that add up. That's how real hypertrophy works. But here's where most people fail. They never let their body recover. They hammer their biceps with set after set, day after day, thinking more volume automatically means more growth. It doesn't. Training is only half the equation. The other half happens when you rest, eat, and sleep. That's when your body repairs the micro tears in your muscle fibers and builds them back stronger. If you're not recovering, you're not growing. Simple as that. You can do everything right in the gym, but if you're skipping sleep, undereating, or not managing fatigue, your results will stall. Recovery isn't laziness, it's a weapon. Another piece of this is intention. When you walk into the gym, you should know exactly why you're there. You're not just doing arms. You're applying targeted stress to your biceps so they have no choice but to grow. That means tracking your performance, writing down your weights, reps, and tempo, and trying to improve them over time. It means approaching each set like it matters, because it does. If you treat every workout like it's practice for the next one, you'll never progress. Treat every workout like it's an opportunity to force adaptation. That mindset shift is huge. Let's talk about range of motion again, because it's one of the most misunderstood aspects of lifting. People cut their reps short, thinking they'll lift more weight. Sure, you might look stronger on paper, but your biceps don't care about your ego. They care about mechanical tension across the full range. A full stretch at the bottom of a curl activates muscle fibers that partial reps never reach. That stretch also increases time under tension, another major driver of hypertrophy. When you combine a full stretch with a strong squeeze at the top, you're maximizing every inch of that rep. It's not glamorous, but it's effective. Consistency, technique, overload, recovery, and intent. They all feed into one another. You can't have one without the others. Perfect technique with no progression won't grow your muscles. Pushing overload with sloppy form leads to injury. Training hard without recovery leaves you stuck. Growth is about balance. It's about showing up, training intelligently, resting adequately, and repeating that cycle for weeks, months, and years. That's what builds not just bigger biceps, but a stronger, more capable body overall. And let's be honest, it's not supposed to be easy. Real muscle growth takes time. You might not see huge changes after a week or even a month, but if you're consistent with these principles, the results sneak up on you. One day you'll look in the mirror and realize your sleeves fit tighter, your arms look fuller, and you didn't need any gimmicks to get there. You just needed to stay disciplined and trust the process. So when you think about biceps training, don't get distracted by trends. Focus on doing the fundamentals perfectly. Control your form. Stretch and squeeze every rep. Add a little more challenge each week, and give your body the recovery it deserves. It's not about finding the secret. It's about mastering the basics so completely that they become your secret. That's how you separate the average lifter from the one who actually transforms. At the end of the day, muscle growth is earned through patience and precision. Every rep you control, every workout you complete with focus, every recovery day you take seriously, all of it compounds. You don't grow because of one amazing session. You grow because of hundreds of good ones stacked over time. That's the reality of training. No shortcuts, no magic, just consistent, intelligent effort applied again and again. That's how you turn simple curls into serious arm growth.